be stopping.
Thanks for joining.
We just had to listen to that, and now we never need to listen to it again, assuming you guys can commit that to memory. Stay seated while the train is moving. I'm not apparently allowed to say that. It has to be the conductor. It's not official unless you hear it from them. But yes. But that also includes, though, at each station, when we are stopped, you are more than welcome to get up, take more photos. That is absolutely okay. Totally allowed to do that. It's just while we are stopped at the station. But yeah, that's why I just have to stop talking while she does, just so we can hear that safety spiel. But back to Lilly Belle. So yes, it had its birthday recently on July 4th, and it has, you know, all of this like Victorian style that Walt was fond of, this deep cranberry red color that came with Lillian. You may have noticed in that photo that there were those long wooden benches. These benches that we're sitting on are original to the Grand Canyon observation car. The settee that you're sitting on in the back and the chair here, these were from the Pre-Berry. They were purchased at auction by Imagineers. Yes, they're all in claret mohair. That is the color and style of velvet that we're sitting on. So you mentioned the jacket here. So this was a replica, or this is a replica of one that Lillian Disney once owned. The style is called a smoking jacket. Not because Lillian smoked, it was just the style of that era. But she went on many trips abroad with Walt. It was thought that she purchased it during one of his many visits. There's also a picture of Walt and his wife Lilly. That's in the back there, in that back left-hand corner. And that's actually them on Coralwood Drive, that house that they lived on with the backyard train. Now the Lilly Belle is known as the 106th car. One is for Retlaw one. That was the original style of train with the passenger cars that they had. As well as 6 was because it was the 6th car in the train. So that's where they get the 106 from. Now Retlaw Enterprises, that is an interesting company that Walt had created. So Retlaw was developed because when Enterprises, the company that oversaw the production of Disneyland, it was re-enveloped back into Walt Disney Productions in 1965, and Walt wanted to continue to have more control over the trains, so he created Retlaw Enterprises to oversee the Disneyland Railroad specifically. By the way, Retlaw is Walter spelled backwards, so when it was his initials and Walter, he really loved his name, Disneyland too, you know. I always thought it was funny how he named everything. And so that continued to oversee the Disneyland Railroad up until 1982. That's when Retlaw was re-enveloped back into Walt Disney Productions. Now many people will ask why it was called the Santa Fe and Disneyland Railroad originally. That was because the Santa Fe Railway was the sponsor for the Disneyland Railroad when it first was created. They were very well respected and well renowned train company. And that was up until 1974 when the partnership ended. And that's when it just became known as the Disney. We're about to be pulling into Tomorrowland Station. Again, you are more than welcome to get up, take as many photos as you like. Or if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Tomorrowland Station while we're here. Let me know if you want me to take any photos, so I'm more than happy to take you guys. If you want me to take your photo, I'm happy to do that. It's a great spot for your phone. I haven't had people do that yet. That's pretty smart. There's a little like a envelope or letter holder there, and you kind of slip his phone in there. Yeah, that's like a perfect, like to take photos or videos. That's like a perfect spot. I didn't even think about that. People ask me about glassware a lot, actually. It's glued down. It ain't going nowhere. Everything, yeah, all of that, all glued down. People ask me about the wheelchair a lot too. That's for, you made an unscheduled stop, so make sure you stay seated. We'll see what's going on in a second. I'm just going to turn off the volume. It's probably because somebody probably stood up when they shouldn't have stood up. Going in a second.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the
wheelchair. Accessibility purposes. So if you, let's say you could get out of your wheelchair and you can go up those 3 steps. We have that wheelchair ramp.
Make sure everyone is seated or we are not departing.
But yeah, so they could go onto the ramp here, and as long as they can transfer just that quick little transfer into this wheelchair, they can be on the Lilly Belle from the comfort of that wheelchair, and it's just wide enough to fit down the aisle. It's like an airport wheelchair, so that way they can still sit there. It's not like
know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs.
They started getting us way too early back, so now we're using Colorado.
We're now returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle Tour of Lillian. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us again real soon. For those of you staying with us, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
But once we arrive at Main Street Station, again, if you want to take more photos, you are more than welcome to. I'll be talking a little bit about Main Street, but let me know if you want me to take any photos. I'm more than happy to. Main Street Station is kind of our welcome here to our guests. It's one of the first things they see as they first walk in through our main entrance. It has that turn of the 20th century style that all of Main Street USA has. Inside are some cool artifacts as well, like it has not a potbelly stove, but coal burning stove, as well as an antique baggage scale, and even some pictures of Walt and his animators. Sometimes the locomotives, the engine cars need to be refurbished, so that's when we'll switch out which ones are pulling it. But yeah, it'll just depend on the day of which locomotive is pulling which train. Today we're being pulled by Secret Holiday. The other day it was the UP Ripley. It just kind of depends on the day and what's being switched out with the refurbishments as far as the locomotives. But I've never seen the Lilly Belle attached to anything other than the holiday vibe with the white stripe. I always say that, and I'm like, wow, tomorrow watch is going to be attached to the red one for some reason. But no, it's never happened before yet. So we'll see. But yeah, that's a great question about the Lilly Belle. You may notice also but ours it is. That's why we're cool. We're arriving here at New Orleans Square. The station currently isn't in operation because of construction and refurbishment. So we'll stop here. It's either going to be for 10 seconds or for a couple of minutes. It depends on if they're taking on cars. This station is the one that they're most likely to ask me about that. This little control panel has the dials that can control the music, and as well as the switch to the lights and the fans too. Which I'll turn off those fans very briefly so we can hear that tapping noise at the telegraph office. Slowly decor as well. But I can absolutely see I spoke to Johnny, but yes, it is. That was Lillian Disney map. It's an antique map of Disneyland, but it has a special feature that lights up and shows you where the trains are at all times during the Grand Circle Tour. So you can watch the trains in real time going around the tracks on the map. It's really cool. In 2016, when we had our expansion of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Imagineers had to get specially trained artists to be able to repurpose the map. They didn't want to completely change it. They wanted to change that same style. So they were able to enhance it. There were only 2 train stations originally. There was one here at Main Street, and the second one was in Princeton. Oh. And even more updated with the inclusion of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, as well as the reimagining of Mickey's Toontown. So we'll be able to pass these out to all of you as well. We'll do a nice